Chapter 1196, I was careless. The old prison guard observed Lu Shu and Coral. He realized that they were quite good-looking. No wonder the rest had been beaten up, while nothing had happened to the two of them. The city guard looked at Lu Shu and Coral. He laughed, "We have committed many crimes. In the future, if you meet any city guards, I hope that you will be able to overlook their faults. This is part of our duty." Lu Shu understood. They were planning to offer them to the city head. They were afraid that they would make their lives hard by abusing their power. Humans were very complex. You would not know what the person in front of you was thinking until the very end. But Lu Shu could not stand this humiliation. Why was he about to be offered? The old prison guard led Lu Shu and Coral inside. "Come in. Our city head likes adaptations like this. This place does not have good-looking people." Of course, it is probably because this place does not have good-looking people that we were forced to change our tastes. Lu Shu did not know whether to laugh or to cry. What was this prison guard talking about? He looked to the side. Groups of ordinary people and secret practitioners from Earth were sitting in the prison cells, looking as if they had nothing else to live for. When they saw Lu Shu and Coral walk by, they were shocked. Why were the two of them treated so well? It seemed like they were doing an inspection with the leader. Someone could not accept this. They asked the prison guard, "Why aren't they handcuffed?" The prison guard said with disdain, "It's because they are more good-looking than you." The people in the prison cell looked as if they had been struck by lightning. Why were their looks being compared in the remains? Were there any Pure Lands in the world? A separate room was arranged for Coral and Lu Shu. The room was bright and clean. There were 2 beds in the room. There was even a small potted plant on the table in between the beds. This was not a prison. This was a hotel room. It seemed like important people often came to the prison. If not, there would not be a need to prepare such a room. It seemed like the prison guard was not of a high position. There were far too many people he could not provoke. He could only serve them. Coral thought about it and asked, "Are you going to kill the city head?" After all, there are no punishments for killing bandits. Lu Shu waved his hand. "But my murderous intent is not that strong. Don't think that I am a murderous demon." "Okay." Coral nodded her head and took out items from her invisible storage equipment. She took out blankets, a mattress, and food. Lu Shu leaned against the door of the room and watched Coral quietly clean up the room. She was like a kind wife. Coral turned and said, "Do you want to sleep? I've changed the bed sheets." Lu Shu was dumbfounded. He suddenly snapped back to reality. "Oh. It's been a long time since I slept. You should rest too." Not long after, Coral turned the prison cell into a small and warm room. Coral did not plan to stay here for a long time, but she hoped to make the place where she would interact with Lu Shu more beautiful. "Do you typically do housework?" Lu Shu asked curiously. "Back in the deities, I didn't do housework. I had a servant." Coral smiled. "But when I went to the Changbai Mountains, it was different. I had to do everything myself. I learned how to cook too. I can cook sliced fish, and sour and hot potato shreds." Lu Shu looked down and casually asked, "What plans do you have after this?" "Nothing." Coral shook her head. "I will take things one step at a time." "What if the results are not what you wanted?" Lu Shu asked. "You are not fate. You wouldn't know." Coral's smile was as bright as the sun. At that moment, someone in the room beside them coughed. "Brother Shu, this place is not soundproof." Lu Shu's expression turned dark. "Chen Zuan, have you been captured as well?" "Brother Shu, that's not right." Chen Zuan was unhappy. "I did it to infiltrate the prison. I was not locked up. I came here out of my own volition. How long have you been here? Wait. Are you in a single room too? Lu Shu was dumbfounded. They were the second last room along the corridor, while Chen Zuan was in the last room. Thus, Lu Shu did not see Chen Zuan. At that moment, he could only feel waves of energy from Chen Zuan. This meant that Chen Zuan was in a single room. Ahem. Chen Zuan awkwardly said, they said that they would offer me to the city head tonight. Lu Shu's expression darkened. Although his expression was not pleasant when he found out that he would be offered, he was quite happy that his good looks were acknowledged. But when he found out that Chen Zuan was also being offered, he was slightly unhappy. Were they serious about appreciating beauty? At that moment, Chen Zuan still excitedly said, I wanted to kill them. I looked around and realized that although there are rank ones here, there are not many of them. I heard that the city head is only a peak rank one. Later on, they said that I would be offered. I want to go and see who has the eye for beauty. Lu Shu silently sighed. He found fun in this. He was even enjoying himself in the prison. Chen Zuan leaned against the wall and asked, Brother Shu, why are you in a single room? I took a look at your room. It is the same as mine. Lu Shu expressionlessly said, I am also going to be offered. Ha! 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 Chen Zuan laughed out loud. Are you serious? Chen Zuan, you really don't want to live, huh? Lu Shu was shocked. With that, Lu Shu opened the door and attacked Chen Zuan. Then, he returned to his room. From Chen Zuan's distress, plus 666. I was careless. Chen Zuan rubbed his bloody nose. Fatty, have you seen Xiao Qiao? Lu Shu asked. No, but you don't have to be worried about him. Chen Zuan casually said, as long as they do not touch the old monsters from the families, nothing will happen to a rank one. Oh. It looks like you've understood the situation? Lu Shu asked curiously. Of course. When I arrived here, I was outdoors. I encountered a few people and obtained some information from them. Chen Zuan softly said, the strongest people here are the 7 families. They all possess rather powerful techniques. There are a total of 7 cities. Each family controls one city. These cities are responsible for transporting resources for the families. Wait. Who are these old monsters you mentioned? Lu Shu asked curiously. Masters. Chen Zuan mysteriously said, Brother Shu, you probably don't know this, but everyone here was forced here by the King of Gods from the Luniverse. They are all criminals. Some of these monsters were important people in the Luniverse. For some reason, the old King of Gods did not kill them. Instead, he let his enemies survive. Have you ever heard of a place called Bulos City? Lu Shu asked curiously. No one has ever mentioned that place. Brother Shu, what is Bulos City? Is it in the remains? Chen Zuan asked curiously. Chapter 1197, The Best at Currying Favor. Have you never heard of Bulos City? Lu Shu was shocked. Is it not among the 7 big cities? No, Chen Zuan said, I am very sure of this. There are 7 major cities. We are now in Qixian City. The city beside us is Zhangyang City. Then, there is Tonghuan City, Uni City, Luken City, and Guanghe City. Oh. That's 6. What about the last one? Lu Shu asked curiously. The name of the 7th city is quite strange, said Chen Zuan as he furrowed his eyebrows. Strange? Lu Shu's eyes lit up. Is it called Bulos City? No, Chen Zuan recalled. The 7th city is called Godlu. How is your health city? What? Lu Shu almost vomited blood. Who came up with this name? It was far too obvious that they were trying to curry favor. I don't know who came up with his name either. I think that it is very strange. Who is God Lu? Chen Xuan curiously asked, but he sounds very old. He is definitely not as handsome as I am. Lu Shu was speechless. Lu Shu found that he was in no position to rebut. Brother Shu, am I right? God Lu sounds very weak. The people sucking up to him are all very weak. Chen Xuan said, most importantly, who is God Lu? I have never heard of him. Brother Shu, why are you walking out of your room? We are being imprisoned here. Have some self-awareness. Brother Shu, why did you open my door? Damn, Brother Shu, what are you doing? 10 minutes later, Chen Xuan wiped his bloody nose. How unlucky. From Chen Xuan's distress, plus 899. Lu Shu returned to his room. He asked through the door, did you hear anything about the city head of Tonghuan City being killed? Of course. Chen Xuan took out a piece of tissue from his invisible storage equipment and stuffed it into his nose. It was definitely Xiaoyu. Who else would be that ferocious other than her? Then do you know where she has gone? Lu Shu asked curiously. I don't know about that. After all, we are not in the same city. Furthermore, it has only been a few days since we came here. There is very little information from other cities. Chen Xuan said, but it looks like the city heads are not that important to the families. Once the city head dies, another person will take over. As long as their profits continue to be transported, they do not care who the city head is. Of course, they will have some punishments. If not, everyone would fight over becoming the city head. Their rule would not be stable either. This was the same as the information Lu Shu had obtained. Once the city head died, another person would take their place. Lu Shu was not worried that the family controlling Tonghuan City would chase and kill Lu Xiaoyu. After all, it was fine even if they did not kill Lu Xiaoyu. All they had to do was replace the city head. If they really wanted to chase and kill her, they might even need to replace the family. Then what do we do now? Chen Xuan asked. He had planned to find the city head according to his own plan, but now, since Lu Shu was here, he was not quite willing to use his head. After all, time had proven that although Lu Shu's plan often failed, he would not be wrong if he followed Lu Shu. Although his plans failed, Lu Shu would eventually succeed. Lu Shu thought about it. I don't have any plans for now. Oh well. Chen Xuan's voice sounded from the other room. Lu Shu's expression darkened. What did Chen Xuan mean? He did not want to beat up the fatty for the third time. He continued, we don't have much information about the outside world, so let's not make any plans for now. Either way, we are strong enough. In order to cope with the constantly changing situation, I want to see the city head of Chixian City. What for? Chen Xuan was dumbfounded. Lu Shu only laughed coldly, but did not reply to him. Coral asked, shall we eat? Lu Shu realized that there was the pleasant smell of food wafting in the room. He turned and saw that Coral had set up a small stove and a pot in the room. She was cooking instant noodles with ingredients like ham, chicken leg, and beef. It was very fragrant. Coral seemed embarrassed. This place is very simple. I can only make instant noodles. Chen Xuan opened the door and came in to eat. But when he saw Coral, he was suddenly dumbfounded. She was familiar, yet foreign. She was someone he had never met. Brother Shu, this is. Ahem. Lu Shu said, she is Coral. She has disguised herself. Chen Xuan was shocked. They were here together? Then, he saw the interior of their room. The fragrance of the instant noodles had filled the room. Lu Shu could almost hear thousands of prisoners drooling. Someone suddenly shouted, who is cooking instant noodles? Do you want to kill us? Yes, Don't you have any conscience? Lu Shu looked at the distress points in his system's back end. Suddenly, he beamed with joy. Who knew that he would be able to earn so many distress points here? He now needed 100 million distress points to light up one star. Up till now, Lu Shu had not thought about how he would be able to earn so many distress points. Of course, he would earn whatever he could. The prison guard rushed over to find the source of the smell. He even brought a large group of guards with him. The guards were dumbfounded. They did not know what this smell was. When they passed by the other prison cells, some people suddenly pulled on their clothes. You must bring them to justice. Don't tolerate them. The prison guard did not know whether to laugh or to cry. He was very clear that the new people this time were quite different from them. They had committed crimes, while these new people had not. Furthermore, they had questioned these people and realized that they did not even know who God Lu was. What was happening? Was a major change about to occur? The bandits could not be blamed for capturing all the secret practitioners from Earth. What were the secret practitioners here for? They were here to hunt for treasure. When they saw that there were humans here, they were dumbfounded. In past remains, humans had never appeared. Someone even shouted, "These are all NPCs." Many people had seen the remains as an instance dungeon, a very large instance dungeon. Many people felt that this made sense. They treated the bandits like NPCs and even started looking through others' belongings. In this place where criminals were gathered, could you simply look through their belongings? When the bandits surrounded them, they tried to fend them off, but realized that they could not defeat these bandits. When the first secret practitioner from Earth died, they finally understood. Then, they grew obedient. Chapter 1198, An Important Figure. They were in the remains. This was not a dungeon in a game. People would actually die. Furthermore, the people here were much stronger than those from Earth. The prison guard led a group of guards and hurried to the deepest part of the prison. He subconsciously felt that the people in the single rooms were responsible for this. But for some reason, he suddenly felt that this smell was very fragrant. When the prison guard approached Lu Shu's room, he was shocked. Was this really a prison cell? Although he had seen important figures before, this was his first time seeing anyone live so comfortably in the Qixian City prison. Furthermore, the young man in the room beside them had come over. The material of the railings in the Qixian City prison was very weak. They had broken them with their fingers. Lu Shu looked at the prison guard outside. He calmly said, "If you are hungry, get something to eat. If there is nothing else, go back to work." "Oh, okay." The prison guard nodded and bowed slightly as he prepared to leave. Lu Shu was acting like a city head. But he thought about it. This cannot be right. Why was this prisoner so stubborn? He was only giving him preferential treatment to protect himself from any future abuse, but he needed his respect as the prison's guard. "You guys," the prison guard said in a strict tone. Before he could finish his sentence, Lu Shu looked at him, puzzled. "Is something the matter?" The prison guard was instantly afraid. "It's nothing." "If there's nothing, then go away," said Lu Shu impatiently as he waved his hand. This time, the prison guard was not stubborn. He gestured to the rest of the guards and left. He suddenly thought about the stove and the pot in the room. Where did these items come from? Invisible storage equipment. Even in the Luniverse, those who possessed invisible storage equipment were truly important people. The prison guard gasped in shock. An important figure had come to the prison. A truly important figure had come. Read more chapter on VIPnovel.com. But he was slightly conflicted. Should he report this to his higher-ups? At that moment, several city guards ran over. "Where are the people we entrusted to you? Bring them out. The city head wants to see them." Okay. The prison guard quickly nodded his head. He looked at the other guards and politely invited Lu Shu and the rest out. He could finally heave a sigh of relief. Once these 3 people were out of the prison, they had nothing to do with him. But he felt that the situation would be different from what the city guards imagined. The city guards felt that the city head would definitely be very happy, but the prison guard felt that the city head might not be too pleased tonight. Lu Shu looked at the prison guard, amused. Then, he followed the city guards out. The prison guard broke out into a cold sweat. He said to the other guards, "Hurry, hurry. Lock the entrance of the prison. Don't open the doors no matter who shouts. None of you are allowed to go out." This was the escape path for a minor character. Ignoring what was happening outside would always be safer than taking part in it. Lu Shu walked with Coral, while Chen Zuan was behind them. They walked to the palace of the city head. When they reached the palace, Chen Zuan and Coral felt that it was a new experience, but this was not unusual for Lu Shu. There were many such vast courtyards in the Luniverse. The palace had much more extravagant courtyards than this palace. For example, the courtyard that the Song family had given him was bigger than this palace. It was a pity that the courtyard had been destroyed by angry citizens. After the courtyard was destroyed, Lu Shu was in grief. Lu Xiaoyu even comforted Lu Shu by saying, "Rest in pieces." To be honest, this was his first time hearing this phrase in the context of a courtyard. Now, the city head who had been sent here from the Luniverse probably did not know what the person he wanted to observe had led an army through the palace. If he knew, the outcome would have been completely different. The slaves in the palace of the city head led Lu Shu and the rest to the front yard. One of the slaves softly said, "Wait here. The city head will patronize you." Lu Shu smacked his lips. What kind of word choice was that? He turned and looked at Chen Zuan. His expression instantly darkened. "Why do I feel like you are very eager about this?" Chen Zuan laughed cheerily. "What if the city head is a female? I have a feeling that the city head is definitely a woman. Relax, brother Shu. When the city head comes out, she will be obsessed with my looks. She will not care about the 2 of you at all. You will definitely feel safe." Lu Shu hesitated. There was something wrong about this. Since when did Chen Zuan become so stiff? No, wait. Lu Shu tried to recall. He felt that Chen Zuan had always been this way. How did you arrive at the conclusion that the city head is a female? Lu Shu asked curiously. Think about it. We are all guys. Coral, I'm talking about after you have disguised yourself, said Chen Zuan cheerily. Women will look for men. Thus, the city head is definitely a female. Lu Shu sighed. Zuan, you are inexperienced. When I was young, I thought the same way. At that moment, they heard heavy footsteps approaching. Chen Zuan's expression changed. The footsteps did not sound normal. Even if it was a female city head, he might end up the same way as Li Xiao. Suddenly, a tall and burly man walked out. He scrutinized Lu Shu and the rest. When he looked at Chen Zuan, he said, "Not bad." Chen Zuan's hair stood on its ends. Lu Shu cheerily laughed. Are you the city head? The burly city head was dumbfounded. He did not expect a role reversal now. He calmly said, What? Do you know what you are here for? Lu Shu smiled. Let me speak first. Can I ask you something? He did not expect the city head to be alarmed the moment he spoke. When he realized that there was something wrong with Lu Shu's attitude, he had his guard up. Before Lu Shu could finish speaking, he jumped out. He had decided to run away. Needless to say, the city head was rather meticulous and cautious. If not, he would not be able to occupy the position of city head for such a long time. A few days ago, a city head had been assassinated. A very important message spread to the other city heads. There were ferocious people among the newcomers. But before he could jump out, the city head felt someone grabbing his legs. Then, he was slammed to the ground. He was utterly confused. From Dai Xiangfu's distress, plus 999. The city head, Dai Xiangfu, instantly understood that the young man could kill him as easily as killing an ant. Are you here to kill me? Lu Shu shook his head. I'm here to ask you, what's so good about that fatty? Dai Xiangfu was confused. Chen Zuan was dumbstruck. From Chen Zuan's distress, plus 666. Chapter 1199, Turn the Tables. Dai Xiangfu had never expected Lu Shu to ask this question. What was happening? Brother, you looked like you had the strength of a master. Why did you come all the way here to ask me what I see in the fatty? Why don't you ask me about the situation here? Dai Xiangfu asked weakly. Later, said Lu Shu. Why don't you ask me about what kind of people are imprisoned here? Dai Xiangfu asked weakly. Why do you have so much to say? Lu Shu was impatient. Answer what I asked you. Dai Xiangfu softly said, actually, I don't like people like him. Lu Shu was dumbfounded. Then why did you lock him up and ask him to be sent here? Dai Xiangfu was about to cry. The clan master of Qixuan likes people like him. He asked me to bring him here so that his servants can take him away tonight to the clan. At that moment, Lu Shu suddenly said, where is the clan master? I am going to ask him. When Dai Xiangfu heard this, he was dumbfounded. Lu Shu was truly ferocious. Was he going to ask the clan master himself? Chen Zuan's expression darkened. Brother Shu was still the same old Brother Shu. From Chen Zuan's distress, plus 666. Suddenly, Dai Xiangfu's subordinate rushed in. Master. What happened? The sound of Dai Xiangfu falling to the ground had shocked the entire palace. After all, the floor had been destroyed beyond recognition. Read more chapter on VIPnovel.com. When they came in and saw their city head on the ground, unable to get up, they looked at Lu Shu, Chen Zuan, and Coral. They immediately turned and left. Master, we will send you reinforcements. The clan servants left, but the slaves were about to burst into tears. Typical clan servants could leave as they wished, but they could not. Even their city head was no match for their enemies. How could they possibly defeat these people? One of the slaves sobbed and said, if you have anything to discuss, let's talk it out properly. If you are not willing to serve him, he can serve you instead. Lu Shu was dumbfounded. Dai Xiangfu was confused. Chen Zuan was going crazy from laughter. I think that it's a good idea, ow 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 ow. From Chen Zuan's distress, plus 666. From the moment Chen Zuan said that it was a good idea, to the moment Lu Shu slapped the back of his head, everything was natural and spontaneous. Lu Shu carefully observed the slave. To his shock, he discovered that his mark of a slave did not react. This meant that to Dai Xiangfu, the slave did not betray him. When Lu Shu thought about this, he could not stand it. The people who came to this city of crime were not good people. It was common for people to run away by themselves when there was danger. But when these people ran out of the palace, people stopped them and asked, what happened? Why are you panicking? They did not conceal the truth. They said, the city head is dead. The practitioners in Qixuan City were shocked. The city head of Tonghuan City had just died. Now, the city head of Qixuan City was dead too. What was happening? The people who had been sent here by God Lu were far too ferocious. Up till this moment, a majority still thought that these outsiders had been sent here by God Lu. After all, it had been like this for many years. Furthermore, according to these servants, the newcomers defeated the city head without much difficulty. This was very frightening. The 7 city heads themselves were very ferocious, to others and to themselves. They were also very strong. If not, how did they become city heads in a place full of criminals? A city guard who was walking past saw the commotion and asked, "What happened? Why are you gathered at the entrance of the palace? Is there a live punishment happening?" Someone said, "I'm afraid that the city head is dead. The 2 newcomers you captured today were far too ferocious." The city guard gasped in shock. When the young man asked him where the city head was, he was not kidding. The young man had probably decided when he mentioned that the strongest would become the next city head. At that moment, Chen Zuan softly said, "What do we do now?" "What do you mean?" Lu Shu asked curiously. "The city head is dead. People outside know what happened. What do we do next?" Chen Zuan was panicking. "I don't know," said Lu Shu. "I haven't planned anything." For some reason, when Chen Zuan heard this, he sighed with relief. It was all right. But this time, he did not dare to say anything. Lu Shu turned and asked Dai Xiangfu, "What do you think we should do next?" When Dai Xiangfu heard this, he was scared. He thought for a long time and recalled what his slave had said. Then, he carefully asked, "Why don't I serve you for one night?" Lu Shu was dumbfounded. Chen Zuan burst out laughing. "Ha! Ha! 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 Oh my God. I can't take it anymore. Go away." Lu Shu kicked Chen Zuan to the side. Then, he sat down and thought about his plan. Suddenly, Coral said, "Do you know where Bulow City is?" Dai Xiangfu was dumbfounded. "We don't have a city called Bulow City." Coral nodded and said to Lu Shu, "Even the city heads don't know. I wouldn't expect anyone else in the city to know. Thus, we have to find the clans. They are probably the only ones who know where Bulow City is." Lu Shu grabbed his head and said, "Yes, yes, yes. My train of thought is a mess. Find Bulow City." This was not Lu Shu's fault. When Dai Xiangfu suddenly said that he would serve Lu Shu was quite affected. Dai Xiangfu listened to them talk. To his shock, he realized that these newcomers were different. Few ferocious people had come in the past. The young man in front of him was probably a master. He had spent some time in the Luniverse. Thus, he knew that people like Lu Shu were ferocious, even in the Luniverse. Lu Shu was deep in thought. Even Dai Xiangfu did not know about the existence of Bulow City. The mysterious young man called Miao Miao was even more mysterious now. "Wait." Lu Shu said, "I thought of something." Dai Xiangfu politely knelt on the floor and looked up. "What is it? Is the clan in Qixuan City called the Qixuan clan?" Lu Shu asked in a serious tone. "Yes." Dai Xiangfu was dumbfounded. "I am not tricking you. The clan master of Qixuan clan was once the head of a small country in the Luniverse. I'm not asking you about that." Lu Shu waved his hand. "I'm asking you, what is the clan in Godlu? How is your health city called?" Chen Zuan was shocked. "Brother Shu, as expected. Your way of thinking is cunning." Dai Xiangfu carefully said, "They are called the Godlu. How is your health clan?" Chapter 1200, Plan failed again. When Lu Shu heard that the clan in Qixuan City was called the Qixuan clan, he felt that something was wrong. He immediately thought about the clan who was an expert at currying favor. He did not know what kind of person was able to come up with such a name. Were they not ashamed? Lu Shu looked at Dai Xiangfu, puzzled. He asked, "Don't you think that this name is very strange?" "No, no." Dai Xiangfu sneered. "God Lu is definitely able to see everything in this world. If the family head did not have a grudge against God Lu, Qixuan City might have been named the same way. There was blind worship of the old king of gods in the Luniverse as well. If not, there would not be so many King's Studies scholars. But Lu Shu realized that this blind worship had been twisted in the remains. Of course, Lu Shu could understand. After all, the people here were twisted, living in an almost fabricated and twisted world. Lu Shu believed that a majority of the people here wanted to get out. The outside world was definitely more vast, unlike where they were now. The 7 cities were not very large relative to the Luniverse. After all, the North region was made up of several hundred cities. But amidst all this, the best was probably the family head of this family. They used unscrupulous means. Dai Xiangfu jeered. Don't say that his name looks weird. No one has dared to provoke this city head. Being close to the emperor is like being close to a tiger. We cannot guess what God Lu is thinking. Although we think that the names of the cities and clans are vulgar, what if God Lu likes these names? Lu Shu asked. The point is, God Lu has never said that he does not like the names. What if someone destroys this city and the clan? God Lu will see that the person who worshipped him was killed by someone. Then, everything will be done for, Dai Xiangfu explained. Lu Shu thought about it. Was it even possible? To the people in this world, God Lu was the true deity. Even Dai Xiangfu and the rest thought that this world was created by God Lu. Thus, they had to fawn on him. Read more chapter on VIPnovel.com. Typical people had their own ways of surviving. 99% of the people here were typical people. Have you ever seen that clan master? Lu Shu asked. No, said Dai Xiangfu awkwardly. Although I am a city head, it is very difficult to see other families and clan masters. Most of the time, we simply mind our own business. No one thinks about unifying this place. There are talented individuals hiding everywhere. It is not easy to get along with the enemies of God Lu. Although some people do not speak much, they are amazing. Oh. It seemed like not every expert who came here would expose their strengths. There were many hiding among the civilians. Have you seen the clan master of the Qixuan clan? How strong is he? Lu Shu grew unhappy. Qixuan, what a name. Why don't you call him Great Qi Lord? Master, it is just that the master of the Qixuan clan is called Li Qixuan. He is a master, said Dai Xiangfu carefully. Then have you been to the Forbidden Land? Lu Shu asked. How do you know about the Forbidden Land? Dai Xiangfu was dumbfounded. Didn't you just arrive? You are not the only person who knows about the Forbidden Land. Can't I hear about it from someone else? Lu Shu's tone was not kind. Although the Forbidden Land is not a secret, not many people can easily talk about it. Dai Xiangfu explained, you should not get close to the Forbidden Land. Even the clan masters do not dare to do so. Lu Shu and Coral looked at each other. These people were rather afraid of the Forbidden Land. Rationally, the clan masters should all be masters. After all, they were once enemies of the old king of gods. They definitely had special methods. If not, how would they have been able to establish themselves here? But the problem was, did these people not dare to approach the Forbidden Land either? If Lu Shu had the time, he would examine Lu Kongming. According to what Lu Shu knew, Lu Kongming was definitely from one of the 7 clans. The clan had a way to steal bodies. This made Lu Shu very uncomfortable. If someone from their clan caused trouble among the people, you would not even know whether the person beside you was real. Master, Dai Xiangfu asked. Do you want me to release your companions who are imprisoned? What for? Lu Shu was dumbfounded. Tell your guards not to let them out. It is fine as long as they have food to eat. Don't bully them. Leave them there. Dai Xiangfu was dumbstruck. They did not seem like his companions. But when Lu Shu said this, he started to earn distress points. Now, Dai Xiangfu was not the one who wanted to imprison them. Lu Shu was. These distress points came too quickly. It was very strange. Chen Zuan was not surprised. He felt that these overseas secret practitioners should have had an awareness when they knew that the ninth heavenly king was in the remains. Reality had also proven that the ninth heavenly king was a mass weapon against overseas secret practitioners. He did not discriminate and attacked everyone. He would not show mercy. Dai Xiangfu carefully asked, "Master, do you still need me to serve you? If not, I will take my leave." This made Lu Shu seem like the city head. Lu Shu silently waved his hand. "Go." After Chen Zuan saw Dai Xiangfu jog away, he looked at Lu Shu in shock. "Brother Shu, are you letting him go just like that? What are you afraid of?" Lu Shu casually said, "I am too lazy to look for their family head. Just let him report to him. I believe that the clan master of the Qixuan clan will come and find me." "Brother Shu, is this part of your plan?" Chen Zuan asked in a serious tone. "What kind of attitude is that? What's wrong with my plan?" Lu Shu was unhappy. "Look. The clan master of the Qixuan clan will definitely come." They waited for 2 days, but did not see the clan master of the Qixuan clan. Suddenly, there was news. The servants in the palace had found new owners to serve. They were very loyal to them. Thus, they immediately reported the new information. "Master, I heard that the clan master of Tonghuan clan has gone to chase the young girl who killed the city head, but he was also killed." Lu Shu scratched his head. The person from the Tonghuan clan was looking for trouble. No wonder the clan master of the Qixuan clan did not dare to reveal himself. This batch of newcomers were very ferocious. They did not dare to come. Lu Shu's plan had failed. Lu Shu stood up and said, "Chen Zuan, if you dare to laugh, I will empty your skull." "Oh." Chen Zuan resisted. "Let's go and find Lu Xiaoyu," said Lu Shu. "Let's meet up with her before that Miao Miao finds her."
What does it mean to be happy? 'Cause it looks like we all don't know. Glass half full or empty, then we just put 'em on the shelf.